Hey, from Detroit Rock City, this is Kid Rock, and you're watching Toasted.
Welcome here in the Melkweg in Amsterdam.
Thank you.
You're going to be performing here tonight. How often do you perform still live? Do you do a lot or?
I'm 37 now. I've been performing quite a bit since I was probably 14, 15 years old. So, I still tour. I don't know how many dates a year, but yeah, I play a lot. But in the States, I've only been playing like Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays for the last 5 or 6 years.
And why is that?
I have a little boy that I raised myself as a single father. So I wanted to be around for him during the weeks. Didn't want to spend all my time on the road, which is why I wasn't able to come to Europe and Holland and places like this so often.
Okay. What's the last time you've been in Holland here?
I don't know the exact date, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, and lately, the last couple of years, the focus in the media has been more in your personal life than in your music. Mm-hmm. And do you hope that's going to change with this album?
That's why I'm here. That's what it's all about. Is I knew what I was getting into. I'm not, oblivious to it. And I think at the end of the day, it kind of helped me in a way to step back and say, all right, what are you doing? What are you doing to your life? Like, what do you really love? And, outside of my family and my son, of course, I love music. And that's what I was always good at. That's what I've always been known for. When I saw that starting to shift, I was like, no. So you just need to go back in, put the pressure on. Go back in and write good music, write good songs, connect with people. And luckily we did, and we've had a lot of success with a lot of places. And I think we're ready for Holland now.
And how did you put the pressure on yourself?
By going into the studio. By working hard, I already had the pressure on me because the pressure started to shift. Do you want to be known as some tabloid freak? Or, you want to be known as a musician and a songwriter? And I think that's a pretty easy question to answer. So that was the pressure right there.
Okay, and this album, Rock and Roll Jesus, the title Rock and Roll, it seems very strange to me because it's so varied, the album.
Yeah, well, the spirit's rock and roll. The attitude's always been rock and roll, whether I'm dabbling in blues or country or hip hop or soul music, whatever it is. That the spirit's always been rock and roll.
Okay, and of course your big hit now, or is it already a big hit actually all summer long?
Depends on what country you're in. But yeah, it's starting to really do well for us everywhere. It's a big hit in America and Germany, and now the UK is starting to pick up, in New Zealand and Austria, and I think Holland's big on it now too. So it looks like we got a big hit.
It's pretty much like a tribute song to Sweet Home Alabama. In a way.
I wouldn't call it a tribute song. It's a mashup. Mashup starting the clubs and coming from the backgrounds of being a DJ. I used to go to clubs and all you would hear is oof, 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 which I don't like. Techno. Techno. I don't like techno. And but then I would start hearing these mashups of these hip hop beats over these classic rock and roll records, old Motown records, whatever it is. And, kids could still dance to them, but you had these great melodies and great songs. So a friend of mine brought over Werewolves of London, looped up over a beat, and I said, oh, that's cool, I like it. And then I thought about it, and as a musician, I said, man, that's the same chord progression in the same key as Sweet Home Alabama. It's also the same chord progression, same key as Go On and Take the Money and Run, Steve Miller. So I said, let's mash them up. And then I said, let's take it one step further and try something that nobody's ever done. Let's mash up the two songs and then write an original song with an original melody over the top of it.
So just getting all these different inspirations together, that's really what you wanted to do.
Yeah, it's very hard to... It's one of the few songs I have that really, I think, sums up in a lot of genres. It crosses over the country. It's got elements of hip-hop in it, rock and roll. So it's very tough, because I love all that music, and I've always been... I've had different songs that had hits on all those different charts, but to have one song that kind of sums that all up, it's very difficult to do, and I think after however many years that maybe I nailed it.
Yeah, and the lyrics to the song are not really, I wouldn't consider them really rock and roll lyrics, but more like singer-songwriter lyrics, like really telling a story,
Well, I guess then we got to start getting into the definition of rock and roll, because, there's so many definitions of it, Are the Eagles rock and roll? I'd say they're rock and roll. What would you, pop rock and roll? I don't know. It doesn't really, I could care less, whatever it is. At the end of the day, I'm going to rock harder than you, no matter what it is. So that's the bottom line.
Okay, but do you want to tell stories in your lyrics or more?
I don't care what I do. I just want to tell the truth and write songs that connect with people. Period. Write songs from my soul, stuff that I've experienced, stuff that I've lived. That's what I write from. I don't contrive anything.
Okay. And are you actually a religious person?
Yes.
Because the title, and you also talk about, how you're almost scared to let your children go to church because of all the stuff that happened in America. So how do you look at that stuff that's happening there?
Exactly like I said. Like, God damn it, I'm scared to send my children to church. And that's just something that I think was on a lot of people's minds, especially in America and maybe the rest of the world, after what happened in the Catholic Church. Everyone thought it, but everyone was very scared to say it. And I've always just tried to write the truth. And that's what I think it was. And that's honestly how I feel. That doesn't mean I don't still believe in God and believe in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. It just means I'm scared to send my children to church because the church kind of, some weird stuff going on in there.
Because there are always bad people around.
There's always bad people in anything you do in life. There's always some good and there's always some bad. Try to surround yourself with the good people, I think, is my philosophy.
Of course, you're doing a lot of different genres on your album. And what are some genres you still want to do?
I just love good music. If there's a new genre that's created, I mean, the last, I think, genre of music that was created that touched the world was hip-hop. People don't really look at hip-hop for what it is. Hip-hop is the blues music of our day and age. Blues music and jazz music spawned every music form up until that time, touched every crevice of popular culture, touched everything we do in Holland to everything we do in the States to everyone around the world. We speak of popular culture and blues music. And there's no music that's come along. Techno music didn't do it, electronica, any of these other music forms. Hip-hop did. Hip-hop came and touched every crevice and every corner of popular culture. And hip-hop was kind of the blues music of my day and age, even though I still had a fondness for blues music and soul music and rock and roll and all those great things.
Of course, your personal life has been in the media all this time, and people still want to know about it. So how are things with Pamela?
There are no things. If I see her, I say hello, and that's it.
You do still see her sometimes?
No. No.
But she has kids too, right? And are your kids friendly with each other?
They don't speak anymore, no. Okay. I mean, I'm sure they're still friends if they were to see each other, but she's in California, I'm in Detroit.
Okay. And what are your plans for the future, music-wise? Yeah. Oh. Are there plans to do a new album, or?
Yeah, I think that's usually the plan when you make music. For as long as I have, make another record. Might even be a tour somewhere involved. Call me crazy. I might design some new T-shirts and try to sell those too, make a new music video. Might do some more interviews. It's the same thing. It's a rock and roll circus, rock and roll pain train. I'm on it. Choo-choo.
But doesn't that feel like you have to do it every time over and over again? Or don't you want to take your time to really let the music speak for itself?
I'm pretty much going to do what I want to do, just like I've always done. The pressure's always the same. The pressure's to make good music. And my thing has never been to try to convince people who might not like my music that I'm great. What I do is prove to my fans that they were right. I don't care about anything else.
You have your own studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you play a lot of instruments yourself as well?
I play drums, I play bass, I play keyboards, I play lap steel guitars, banjo. Probably my best instrument's the turntables as a DJ.
I don't think everybody who listens to your music knows that, because, of course, in your videos you're always just singing and stuff like that.
People that really listen to my music that are into it, they're pretty familiar with what I do. It's the people that don't that are always surprised at what I do if they come to a concert. They say, Jimmy Page came to our concert in London the other night. You've heard of Jimmy Page, right? Yeah. And he was blown away. He was like, I didn't know you were that talented.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool to hear from Jimmy Page. Right.
I'd say so. Yeah.
So afterwards, you had a drink with him, and
yeah.
Okay. And he just happened to be at the show, or
just popped up, him and Jason Bonham.
Well, that's something of an honor if they come to your show, right?
Extreme honor. Extreme honor.
Are you a big Led Zeppelin fan yourself?
Of course. Is there anyone on this planet that isn't?
Probably.
There probably is somewhere. You know what? You're right on that one.
The techno fans, probably.
There probably are. And they can keep that. I'll take Led Zeppelin any day over techno.